First at 4, Governor Gretchen Whitmer wipes away some legal protections for big drug companies in Michigan. We'll tell you what it means for you. Also, a sucker punch caught on video. The victim, a grandfather. You'll see the video making people angry from coast to coast. Plus, here's Ron.
And we have some mild temperatures right now, but if you think this is warm, we're talking about record warmth as we head into the weekend. All the latest coming up.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill in for Karen Drew. First at 4, a holiday tradition in downtown Detroit comes with added significance and beefed up security. The Menorah in the D ceremony will take place shortly over in Campus Martius. This is a live look. The crowd will be gathering soon to mark the beginning of Hanukkah. This year's ceremony comes exactly 2 months after a terror attack on Israel sparked a new war with Hamas. We've also seen increased anti-Semitic and Islamophobic threats here in the United States. Detroit police tell us they'll implement protocols for a high-security event. We'll have live updates when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. Here's another look at Campus Martius from one of our downtown sky cams. The Menorah ceremony is less than 90 minutes away, and the weather seems to be cooperating, so that's certainly good news. Ron Hilliard is in for Kim Adams with the forecast. Hi, Ron.
Kimberly, the weather will be just great at sundown as celebrations get underway. Right now, we have some clouds moving in, but a lot of us saw that sunshine today, and it was absolutely stunning out there. 47, it's a temperature in Detroit, 45 for both Howell and Pontiac, 47 in Monroe. So we are seeing temperatures above normal, and as we get into our Saturday, temperatures will be near or at record territory. We're at 44 in Sandusky and 47 as you get down into Monroe. A little bit milder out over toward Adrian with 48 degrees. So it's Track 40 radar. We are looking good out there. The clouds are starting to roll in a little bit. You see it there, especially as you get into the thumb. But we are looking rain-free today as well as tomorrow. Things are going to be changing when it comes to the warmth, temperatures going up and the rain coming to the area. And you can get the latest information right here with the Forewarn weather app.
A Pontiac man is now charged with open murder after the shooting of a man in Auburn Hills. Malcolm Draper was arraigned Wednesday and denied bond. Police say they got a 911 call in the early morning hours last Saturday, December 2nd, from a man saying he shot someone. They rushed to the Suburban Studio Hotel on Doris Road, found a 47-year-old who'd been shot, tried to save him, but he died at the hospital. Investigators arrested the man who called 911. They say the men knew each other and that this was an isolated incident. A sentencing hearing for the confessed Oxford school shooter will start tomorrow. Ethan Crumley pleaded guilty to all the charges against him, including 4 counts of murder in the deaths of Madison Baldwin, Tate Meir, Justin Schilling, and Hannah St. Juliana. This summer, a judge ruled Crumley is indeed eligible for life without parole. Families of those murdered and injured in the shooting are expected to speak at the hearing. The sentencing starts at 9 a.m., and you can watch what happens in court live on Local 4 Plus or click on Detroit.com. So far, we don't know yet if Crumley will address the court, but we'll be following the entire day, and we'll bring you updates on Local 4 News. There's new protection on the way for Michigan residents from drug companies that make mistakes that hurt people. Today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a bill repealing a law that gave drug makers immunity if their products proved to be dangerous or deadly. The original legislation was signed by former Republican Governor John Engler decades ago. Supporters say Democratic control in Lansing turned the tide, and the change is a long time coming.
For my entire adult life, when people in Michigan are harmed by pharmaceutical drugs, the doors to the courthouse have been slammed in their face. They've tried to seek compensation, they've tried to seek accountability for these companies that have wronged them, and they've been told no.
When the drug manufacturers and distributors know that they have the same liability here as everywhere else, it's about them acting more responsible and about protecting our state consumers and patients in our state.
And this new law takes effect immediately. A woman in Texas has won a very personal battle over abortion, at least for now. It's believed to be the first time since Roe versus Wade was overturned that a woman anywhere in the country has asked a court to approve an immediate abortion. Jacqueline Francis joins us from the newsroom with some of the details. Jacqueline, Texas law is strict, but some argue confusing.
Kimberly, good afternoon. Texas law prohibits almost all abortions with very limited exceptions, but a mom from Dallas argued it was medically necessary for her to have an abortion right away. 31-year-old Kate Cox already has 2 children. Last month, her unborn baby was diagnosed with a disorder likely to cause a stillbirth or death shortly after birth. The Center for Reproductive Rights says Cox is at high risk for complications, and she's been to the ER 4 times for symptoms like severe cramps, leaking fluids, and elevated vital signs. Today, the judge granted a temporary restraining order that could allow Cox to have an abortion, but the state is expected to appeal, arguing she doesn't meet the criteria for a medical exemption. Like we said, this Texas law does allow exceptions under its abortion ban, but doctors and women have argued those exceptions are so vaguely worded, many physicians won't provide the procedure for fear of being prosecuted. In this case, the state argues Cox has not shown her life is in imminent danger. This lawsuit was filed a week after the Texas Supreme Court heard arguments about whether the ban is too restrictive for women with pregnancy complications. A ruling from the all-Republican court isn't expected for months. We're waiting for word on the appeal from the state. Right now, it's not clear how quickly Cox might be able to get an abortion. We'll keep you posted. For now, Kim, back to you.
Okay, Jacqueline, thank you. We'll see you in later newscasts this afternoon. Well, it's no secret vaccination rates for COVID-19 and the flu are lower than health experts would like to see. Well, today, the director of the CDC brought her vaccination push to Detroit. She also wanted to learn more about a program right here that's meeting community residents where they live. Megan Woods went along for the ride.
The Detroit Health Department isn't just inviting the community to go to these vaccination clinics. They're bringing the clinics to the community, to the neighborhoods, and it's catching the attention of the CDC director.
It's a blessing to be able to just get what you need, when you need it.
This free flu and COVID clinic is more than just convenient for Joanna Parker. She's staying with the Neighborhood Service Organization, NSO, as they help her look for housing.
I have ovarian cancer, so my immunity is very low. I catch everything, and so I have to keep up with my COVID vaccines in order to continue the treatments.
Because even though life has gone back to normal, CDC Director Dr. Mandy Cohen says COVID is still lingering.
Here in the Detroit area, we are still seeing a lot of COVID. Actually, in the last week, 800 people have gone into the hospital with COVID here in Michigan.
While flu season is just beginning and the vaccination rates aren't where she believes they need to be for either virus.
We know about 16% of adults have gotten vaccinated across the country, but that is too low. We need to get folks vaccinated to make sure they're protected. It's one of the reasons I am here in Detroit.
Today, she toured the NSO building on Mack Avenue. Known as one of the first healthy housing facilities in the country. It's a physical and behavioral health clinic, a place for people with no housing to stay after being discharged from the hospital, and a 56-bed women's shelter.
We have to make sure we're partnering with folks who are doing amazing work in the African American community here in Detroit. It's why I'm at the Healthy Housing Center here in Detroit, because they are reaching those communities and they're already trusted.
And NSO says today's event is just one example of how they're addressing neighborhoods' needs.
This is one of those healthcare deserts. The east side of Detroit really needs healthcare support. And so this vaccination clinic provides that support for people who can't get to the hospitals or other centers that are dispersed throughout the city.
In Detroit, Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, Megan, thank you for that report. And that clinic is part of a partnership between the Detroit Health Department and the NSO, Neighborhood Service Organization. If you're interested in a free vaccination clinic near you, connect with your local health department.